It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, I think I have a good one for you today. Thanks for being with me. You know, we've been doing these Daily Dougs for a few years now, and one of the really great side benefits of doing this is all the people that you meet. And after a few years, Helvering's Army, the followers of the channel here, are truly an international community, both on YouTube and on our Patreon. We have folks from around the world that have become a part of our community. We're kind of, brought together by our love of music, but we all have our own backgrounds and cultures, and it's just great to share all of this great stuff with people from around the world. And so I wanted to take some time today to focus on some music that comes from outside of my backyard and see what's going on around the world. And what's going on in Europe is the Eurovision Song Contest of 2024. It is underway. It is the 68th edition of the Song Contest this year, and the culmination is going to come next month in Malmo, Sweden. So there are 37 different countries that are sending musical representatives to the contest this year. And next month, they'll have two semifinals where about half will compete in the first semifinal and the other half in the second. And the top 10 from each of those semifinals will make it into the final, where they will be joined by a representative from Sweden, who is the host country, and then representatives from each of the so-called Big Five countries, who are France and Germany and Italy and Spain and the United Kingdom. So when they get to the final, which is going to be on May 11th, not too far away, we'll have all of those songs from all of those different country representatives vying for the top spot, and it's going to be fun to see what happens. So our friend John flagged this for us, as he's currently living over in the Czech Republic, and he's got Eurovision fever, and he says you got to take a look at some of these great songs that are currently in the running to be, on the Eurovision final broadcast. And so we were looking into which one or two to include here, and both of us arrived at the same conclusion. We've got to listen to this song called Europapa, and it's by a guy named Joost Klein. And one of the main reasons why it really jumped out at us is because it's one of the leading contenders, already having over 19 million streams on YouTube. So I want to take a look and see what it is all about. Joost is representing the Netherlands in this year's contest, and Europapa was released by Joost on Leap Day, February 29th. Here a few months ago. The songwriting credits are extended to 7 people, including Joost, who provided the lyrics. That strikes me as a bit odd. Does it take 7 people to write a pop song? But that's what it said. Joost has said in interviews that the song is an ode to Europe itself and an homage to his late father. And I think that's really cool as well. He describes the song as very Dutch. So we will see what that means. And it's produced in a throwback 1990s musical style. It rose to the top of the charts soon after he released it in Netherlands. And like I said, it's one of the leading contenders in this year's contest. Let's see what all of the hubbub is about, y'all. This is Joost Klein with his song Europapa. Off we go. Eurovision Song Contest. I like the heart they make with that.
Let's come together!
Let's come together, Europe. Love that we have lyrics here that's going to help.
Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik doodga. Europapa, Europapa.
That's a heck of a jacket.
Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik doodga. Europapa, Europapa.
Bezoek mijn friends en friends.
He's got my hat. My cowboy hat on.
Maar mijn paspoort is verdwenen. Heb gelukkig geen visum nodig om bij je te zijn. Dus neem de bus naar Polen of de trein naar Berlijn. Ik heb geen geld voor Parijs, dus gebruik mijn fantasie. Heb je een eurotje please? Zeg merci en alsjeblieft. Ik ben echt alles kwijt. even de tijd.
Lost everything except time, so I'm traveling every day for the world is
Welkom in
mine.
Europa, blijf hier tot ik dood ga. Europapa, Europapa. Welkom in Europa,
B minor,
blijf hier
down
tot
to
ik dood ga.
A,
Europapa,
F sharp,
Europapa, Europapa.
It's a sequence. Yeah.
In Deutschland, aber ich bin so allein. Io sono in Italia, maar toch doet het pijn.
Going to
Ben
Germany,
aan het
he's going to
vluchten van
Italy.
mezelf, roep de hele dag om help. Ja, ik
Going
geef
all
zelfs
over.
mensen geld, maar er is niemand die me helpt. Ik hoef geen escargots, hoef geen vis en chips, hoef geen paël. Ja, nou, ik
Paella.
weet niet eens echt wat dat is.
I don't know what that
Zet
is
de
either.
radio aan. Ik hoor
Megan
Stromae
likes
met
it.
papa Oete zal niet stoppen tot ze zeggen ja, dat doet hij goed, hé.
Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik dood ga.
Stay here until I die. It's an homage to Europe.
Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik dood ga. Europa.
Very poppy.
Europapa,
Europa.
Welkom in Europa, jongen.
What a fun tune. Get me up and dancing. A little breakdown here. So E to A, then F sharp to B.
Aan het einde van de dag zijn we
At the end
allemaal
of the day, we
mensen.
are all human
Vader
beings.
zei me ooit, het is een wereld zonder grenzen. Ik mis je elke dag, is wat ik stiekempjes fluister. Zie je nou wel, pa? Ik heb naar je geluisterd.
Why is it on fire though? That I'm not sure about. The burning it up. From me to my parents. That was an interesting way to end it. But what a fun tune that is. I've got the lyrics here as well. Thankfully with that translation. Let's see. Welcome to Europe. Stay here until I die. I've been to Europe a few times, and I have absolutely loved both of my trips to Europe. We've been, I haven't been to some of the more popular places to go. Both of the times that I've been to Europe have been on choir tours, and we've been going to certain spots where we have connections. We had connections with folks. So we were in Lithuania, we were in Sweden, we were in the Czech Republic, we were in Germany, we were in the eastern part of Europe as well. We were in Hungary, we were in Romania, we were in Moldova. So I've been all across the country, but I've never been, south, like to Italy, or southwest to Spain, or even to the British Isles, or to France, but I've been to these other places, and I remember my time so fondly. The people were so nice, and, it's different than America. The cities were walkable. There was art everywhere. It was clean. And the mass transit, the way to get around the continent was just there for us to experience even 20-something years ago. And I'm sure it's gotten better now, but that's part of what he's talking about. I found a quote from Joost, and he says that Europapa is about an orphan who travels throughout Europe and beyond to find himself and tell his story. At first, people don't recognize him, but he goes on seizing any opportunity he gets to let himself be seen. Europapa is a tribute to my father. When bringing me up, he passed on to me an expansive view of the world. It just gives me all the great feels, y'all. It's an uplifting song. I think it really fits the underlying reason for this Eurovision Song Contest to be what it is. You've got a relatively small area of the world with lots of international boundaries, and it's quite well populated, and you've got a true melting pot of all of these different cultures coming together, and they're so connected and they're so easy to get around to that, of course, you can have fish and chips and paella and escargot and all of that stuff. And of course, we have all of that stuff here in America, but going to some of these quaint and beautiful towns with all of this culture and history in Europe is quite an experience for this American, and I can't wait to get back to Europe. I love this tradition. I've kind of watched from afar the Eurovision Song Contest in the past, and I always have been just impressed by it and thought it was a really cool idea, and that it really exists to bring people together, and it uses the power of music to do that. I've experienced that, like I said, in my own channel here, and it's just a way in to learn about people. It's a way for us to let our guards down and just focus on the sounds that we hear and the types of messages that we hear in the songs. And this was quite good. I understand why a lot of people have been watching that. It's got a great hook. It's got some great musical synergy in it. There's that little sequential pattern in there. It's in B minor, and he's just dancing the night away with that dance beat as he's going around Europe. That sounds like fun. I think I might want to join him and travel around Europe and see what's doing. I can't wait to see what happens on the Eurovision Song Contest as well. So that's coming up in May, and maybe once we figure out what wins, we'll come back to it and check out another few songs. But I believe that's going to be all for today, my friends. Thank you for checking me out and for listening with me to Joost with his song Europapa. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.